My name is Jim Fody, and I am the Assistant Minister here at First Unitarian Society. On behalf of her loving family, it is my honor to welcome each of you to this gathering dedicated to the life and memory of Karen Hultberg. We come together today in grief and in gratitude. We come together to mourn and to celebrate. We do these things in the circle of loving community. It is good to be together. Now Karen's brother Eric will come forward and he will light the chalice as I share a few words. We light this flame in a spirit of loving memory to mark this special time together. Thank you, Eric.
Yep.
We will now hear a musical reflection performed by Lois's friend, Jim Tyler. Our reading today is a poem selected by Karen's mother, The Road Not Taken, by Robert Frost. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both and be one traveler, long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then took the other, as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear. Though as for that, the passing there had worn them really about the same, and both that morning equally lay in leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day. Yet, knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. Saying goodbye to the life of someone we have loved deeply pulls us in many directions. We know that it is our duty to cherish and to hold on to the memories and to the gifts. At the same time that we also acknowledge a letting go and a change in the way things have long been. Today we look back at Karen's life and the many ways she touched the lives of others. And we also carry forward the values and love that Karen inspired in the many people she held dear. As we grieve, we are grateful for so many things. We are grateful for Karen's generous and no-nonsense spirit, which was in evidence throughout her life from childhood on. As a little girl, she would surprise grown-ups by skipping the baby talk and jumping right to adult words. And early on, she learned the value of standing up for herself. This continued throughout her life. She stood up for her political beliefs, her theological beliefs, and standing up for others was one of the ways she cared for them. Karen's relationships endured over long distances. with her mother and brothers back in Minnesota, with her lifelong friend Jill in Florida, with her sister out in California. Karen was a very organized person, which meant that she could be counted on to send birthday cards to all kinds of people. She made caregiving into a vocation in New York, helping to take care of the wife of her dear friend Al. Karen also cared for family members, including traveling to help her mother when Lois faced a long illness. Sometimes that care took untraditional forms, such as when Karen drove Lois back to Minnesota after a car crash out east. Or when Karen helped Lois make a costume out of Argo cornstarch boxes, the year that the movie Argo was up for an Academy Award. Lois had the best party outfit. Karen did not mind being non-traditional. In fact, she relished it. She did take the road less traveled in her life. That road led from St. Louis Park to New York City. Her family says that Karen turned into a real New Yorker. Not having a car, seeing plays at little theaters in her neighborhood, enjoying the occasional celebrity sighting, and welcoming relatives to her Manhattan-sized apartments. Her brother Eric tells the story of going to visit her some 30 years ago. Like most people, Eric had been led to believe that New Yorkers were unfriendly, but the ones he met couldn't have been nicer. Part of it, Eric said, was Karen's ability to bring out the best in people. She was even calm and reassuring to a cabbie when he bumped into another vehicle. She was comfortable in a wide range of situations, and, Eric says, a good tour guide, picking out-of-the-way spots to eat and a bowling alley that would have been impossible to find. And she walked fast and purposefully, like a New Yorker. Eric practically had to jog to keep up with her. Having Karen in New York also helped Lois stay connected to her East Coast roots. A visit with Karen could serve as a jumping-off point for seeing Lois's brother in New Jersey and other relatives in Massachusetts. Karen and Lois also explored Canada together, driving for days to visit places like the house that Lois's mother grew up in, turning that visit into a multi-generational mother-daughter experience. As much as New York became Karen's home, she still stayed connected to Minnesota. She loved coming back to the house on Minnehaha Creek and having a fire in the fireplace. And on one visit, after a coyote was spotted down by the creek, Karen, ever the animal lover, said, "Well, I'm going to tell people in New York that I saw a wolf." Karen stayed in touch with family and friends in a variety of ways. Always willing to share her thoughts, crack a joke, or lend support, she was known to exchange a comment or two with her brother on his Facebook page, or with his sister-in-law on hers. And over the years, she and her sister Ilsa wrote many letters to each other. When I spoke with Ilsa this past week, she said she felt so lucky to have had Karen as her little sister. When they were kids, Ilsa enjoyed making clothes for Karen and dressing her up. And they had many fun-filled days